And South African Airways will, as you say, resume flights between Johannesburg and Durban on the 4th of March. There will be 3 daily return flights. The embattled airline abandoned the route 2 years ago, as you would know. But SAA's interim chief executive officer, Thomas Hokolo, says since operations resumed last year, the airline's customers and partners had been asking for the route to reopen. Now, I want to bring in Simon Newton-Smith, who's the executive in charge of commercial operations, just to give us an idea of what to look forward to here. Simon, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. So up until now, you had the Johannesburg to Cape Town route. Presumably, you would have done the calculations, the forecast for opening the Durban-Johannesburg route at this juncture. What did it look like when you made this decision?
Well, certainly a lot better than it looked when we were first analysing the market. As you know, we spoke, I believe, on launch day, 23rd of September, with the Cape Town service. Clearly, the number 2 domestic market in South Africa has been on our wish list, since before we restarted. The numbers didn't work back in September, but certainly with the recovery that we're seeing in demand for Durban, announcing yesterday to restart in March, the numbers look very good.
Do you have enough aircraft for this new route?
Yes. The good thing within the operation that we have right now, we are still building up the utilisation of the narrow body fleet. And, the nice thing about aircraft is that you can move them around and you can schedule them differently. And certainly with some other changes that we made, we originally, had published another destination which we've decided not to restart quite so soon. So, yeah, we've got enough capacity with the existing fleet to accommodate the 3 flights a day to Durban from March.
Simon, when you speak of this relaunch between Johannesburg and Cape Town in September last year, and at that launch, I asked the CEO, about SAA approaching government once again for more funding for its operations, and he told me, well, it depends really on the lucrative nature of the existing or the new flight schedule, whether it gives you that return or not. How has it been on those routes you've been so far, and has it brought some capital to the airline?
Yes, so, clearly we are still in the very early days of the relaunch, so you anticipate with either a new service or a restarted service, there's a ramp-up period, and the trajectory has been very good. To be honest, we were slightly behind where we wanted to be in October, but arguably in November we were ahead of where we thought we were going to be. So, we're still waiting on the December numbers. Obviously, we had a little bit of a curveball there with COVID. But we're anticipating to get those December numbers imminently. But yes, inevitably across the number of routes that we've started, we're seeing a variance in performance. But broadly speaking, every route and collectively is getting us where we anticipate it to be. So feeling good.
Yeah, so that operational funding, just to get operations off the ground, you were telling me at this stage, reasonably healthy. You don't need to run to government again, presumably in the near future, for more money. Yeah,
listen, the reality is, and I think we've spoken about this before, that in the current environment, we're still a long way from normal, pre-COVID numbers. But, we're seeing some really good recovery, particularly in the South African domestic market. The regional market is further behind. So, our goal in the very short term is to make sure that the routes that we're operating cover their operating costs, i.e. it doesn't drain the cash, faster than it was previously, make a positive contribution to the bottom line and make the cash that we have last longer. And we're certainly on that path right now. And certainly as we get to see demand return, as we get closer to pre-COVID levels, it should all be upside.
I was looking at reports, I think possibly about a week ago, in connection with the state airline in Zimbabwe. I see that airline owes a few other airlines on the continent and beyond some money. It doesn't exclude South African Airways. They owe you money as well, about 110 million, if I'm not mistaken. Does that create, that money would have been very useful if you have it. Any chance of you getting that soon?
We've got some very competent folks on the team looking at solutions for repatriating funds from Zimbabwe. You're absolutely correct. I think there are a number of South African businesses that have funds trapped there. I don't have the exact details in terms of the amount, but yeah, absolutely. When we can recover those funds, that will be a good positive contribution to the bottom line.
And just finally, I see that Qatar Airways, in partnership now, is going to be running from Durban to Doha. I mean, presumably South African flights or SAA flights wouldn't be going, but the partnership involves Qatar Airways flights. Just talk to me about the significance of that partnership.
Well, certainly from South African Airways perspective, our Middle East carrier partnerships is with Emirates. I think Doha is operating into Durban with other partners. So I certainly don't want to get too involved, even though I did work for Qatar Airways in the past. I'll let them explain. But certainly from a South African Airways perspective, the Emirates relationship and code share is fully intact, and we're just rebuilding that relationship and taking it from strength to strength moving forward.